Hey friends, welcome back. Out in the shop today. It is another sunny day in Colorado Springs, so I've got my garage door open today. We might have some road noise. It's not a super busy road here in the neighborhood, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not too distracting, too terrible. Also, I've got a fan set up out here to help deal with the heat a little bit. So I think the noise canceling on the microphone here is going to pull that out, but I can't really be sure until we've got it in the studio editing, and we'll see there. But just getting back to the Boy Scout Axe. So I thought I'd give you a little update on where I'm at. I've got the head mounted onto the handle here. It's a task. I think it was a 14-inch or 12-inch. Hey, I got a ruler. Let's find out. It is a 14-inch task handle, and it seems to fit the Boy Scout head really well. Just needs a little bit of fitting. When I put it on, it naturally wants to tilt a little bit forward, so I'm going to be trying to take out a little bit of the shoulder here, above the neck above the shoulder, and get it to seat down just a little bit more flat. Not too much, just a tad. So I'm going to get to work on that, and then we'll get the head seated all the way down, and then we'll get it wedged up and good to go. I might film that portion later because I've seen most guys like to do the linseed oil when they wedge it, and I don't have that yet. So I might put that off until I get the linseed oil. I am going to use raw linseed oil. A lot of you guys use the boiled linseed oil, or they call it blow. Problem with that is it has some toxic chemicals in it, and some folks are okay with that. Most folks probably are. Lead's one of those chemicals. I just don't want that on my handle that I'm going to be handling with my bare hands. So I'm going to go with the raw linseed oil. It's totally natural. It's not going to have any chance of any chemicals seeping in through the pores in my hand or anything like that. That probably seems silly to a lot of guys, but for me it's a little more important, especially with my autoimmune disease and all that. So that'll be the way to go for me. And so I'm just going to get to work on trying to bring the neck in just a little bit above the shoulder here, and we'll go about hammering this in and just kind of get it set. And then if I've got the energy here, I'll keep going, and I'll work on stripping off the varnish on the handle here and get that down to bare wood so that we can have it ready for the linseed oil. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you in a little closer, and let's get going. Okay guys, you are here at the work table, and we're going to get to work on bringing this in. Now, when I hammered it on initially, the way I did that, I'll show you later, is by striking the top of the handle. That drives the handle down through the head, and I got it seated pretty low. I've backed it off just a tad, and now I'm going to work on just trimming this out. While I was doing that, I hammered up my shoulder here pretty bad. It's looking pretty ugly, but that's going to get smoothed out as I finish the fit with the rasp here. So let's go ahead and get started. And I was going to use my woodworker's vise, but I don't have the carriage bolts in yet, and I don't actually really need it on this tiny axe. I'm just going to set the blade in the gap here of my bench, and that'll give me enough stability along with my left hand here to get to work. So we're using the 4-in-1 rasp, or the shoemaker's rasp. It's got a heavy grit curved side, a heavy grit flat side, and then it's also got a fine grit curved and a fine grit flat. And you can flip it around really easy to get to what you want, and it's really handy. I picked this up from Wrangler Star and a couple other guys that do a lot of great videos on hanging axes and fitting them, and Wrangler Star even makes his own custom handles from raw hickory planks, so great guy to watch. Definitely if you're trying to learn how to do this, I'm probably not the best channel for you. I'm the moron doing this for the first time, so I'm learning from Wrangler Star primarily. So you can go hit his channel and find a lot of great videos there on how to do this properly. But this is just sort of an amateur attempt for the first time going through the process here. So I'm going to use the fine side of the rasp and the curve, because I got a curve here I want to kind of match. So that's going to let me take out just a little bit of material at a time. I'm trying to be careful not to touch the head of the axe because I don't want to scar it up too much. I would actually just take the head all the way off, but I can't get it off. At least not without doing damage to the head. So that's why we're doing it this way. Just a case of not having the proper tools and the proper know-how. So I'm switching over to that heavy side to bring a little bit more material here, just to get me down to where that line was from hanging it. Now, as I understand, a rasp and a file work differently. A rasp can be used either direction, and a file should be used only one direction. But definitely the teeth on this rasp are much sharper going this direction than this direction. So I'm dragging it the smoother direction, and that's allowing me to get a much smoother drag on there. I don't know if that's typical of all of these rasps or just because I bought a really cheap one off of Amazon. Okay, brought that material down on that shoulder quite a bit. I'm going to switch over to the fine one just to kind of clean that up a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and work on cleaning up the hammer marks here as well. At the moment, this is just pretty gentle work, so holding it in my free hand here is working pretty well. I thought I would want the vise for this, but this is actually working pretty good. Help me kind of just focus on doing a little bit at a time, keeping things nice and even. And I'm going to go at this with a sanding sandpaper or sponge, sanding sponge, to really smooth that out once I'm done. We'll get rid of all these tooling marks, get it nice and smooth. Okay, I think that's all it's going to need. Just try to make sure that's nice and smooth and even. It seems nice and smooth and even. It feels even. Maybe a little bit of a high spot there. Okay, and then I'll show you the amateur mistake here. So having the axe head on it while I'm doing this, I am marring up the bottom of this head a little bit. So I may need to sand that down a little bit, get rid of some of those tooling marks. And I'm still actually considering maybe cleaning up this mushrooming. I hadn't planned to initially, but I figured a way that I could do that pretty easy on my grinder, so or my belt sander. I figured that out while I was working on the Japanese hatchet. So we'll maybe do that, clean this up a little bit. But For now, we just need to get the handle fit, and I think we're just about there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and back you out a little bit, and we'll show you how to hammer that down, and we'll see if it seats a little bit straighter, a little bit more at the angle I want it at. Okay, let's get the handle mounted up here. We'll use Granddad's old hammer, and what we're going to do is just strike the bottom of the handle while it's upside down, and because of the drastic difference in mass between the handle and the handle is actually going to drive down through the head rather than knocking the head off the end, which you would think would happen. So if you've never hung an axe before, it's a little weird, but it actually really works, and we're going to see it come up this shoulder quite a bit here. Okay, and ideally you'd want to use a hammer that's more of a wood mallet, or maybe like I've actually got one that's like a resin head hammer, but I left it in my wife's car when we got it, and I keep forgetting to pull it out. So I'm actually kind of marring up the base here, but since we're going to pull off all this lacquer or whatever this is on the whatever this coating is on the wood, we're going to sand that all off anyway, and we'll just smooth that up when we get to it. I might even take out this hard edge and just kind of smooth this over, make it look a little bit more hand produced. So we'll go ahead and keep going here. I'm just about where I want to be on that shoulder. I'm just going to give it a few more whacks. Okay, that is right where I want it. So we brought it down. We're about a ½ inch, just a little over a ½ inch away from the shoulder here, so I've got room to mount it further down later if I need to. But we're pretty much ready to go. I've got a little bit of wood splitting out here next to the head. I'm going to want to clean that up with a knife. So we'll get to doing that. And then just need to sand this all off, sand all this finish off, get that logo off of there, and then it's pretty much ready to go. It does need to be wedged, and my wedge, well, I've seen people do the wedging with linseed oil on the head, or on the neck, and in the wedge to help drive it in there and get a really solid fit. And I definitely don't want to have to redo this, and I don't want it coming off, especially if I'm out camping or something and using it. So I'm going to go ahead and hold off on the wedge until I get some linseed oil, but we'll try and take care of the rest of the wood here a little bit. I know this seems a little strange, but this is the knife I'm going to use because it's out here and it's sharp. So just really carefully going to cut that little bit of wood off that was peeling up. And I've got a little bit right there. Just barely biting into the wood there, just a shaving, and then twisting, peeling it out. Give it a nice, smooth finish. Okay. There we go. And let's get to work on sanding this down. So to do the sanding, I'm just going to go ahead and use the sanding sponge that I typically use on my Kydex. And if you're not sure about Kydex, go ahead and watch my shop tour video, and I explain a little bit about what Kydex is. That's what I built this shop around doing initially. Basically, it's the hard plastic material you see here in my holster. So you can make knife sheaths with it, and that's what I do. You can make holsters with it. They make wallets with it. All kinds of stuff. It's cool stuff. Okay, so let's see how well this is going to stand off. Oh, it's going to stand off really well, really easy. It is not as thick as I thought it might be. And I love these sanding sponges. Where did I get that mark from? I'll just do that with that knife. I love these sanding sponges because they keep that round surface really smooth because it molds to the surface you're sanding. So I don't know if this will show up very well on the camera here with this light, but we've still got the lacquer back here a little bit and the raw wood over here. And we are going to treat that with some linseed oil again once I've got it here. As far as how far to go with this, I think that's a little bit personal preference. Me, I want to get out some of these tooling marks that I made while I was working on this. Being an amateur, I made some pretty bad marks on it. That nice raw wood coming through. It's amazing actually how much nicer that looks to me without that lacquer on there. I've still got that task logo coming through and not all the way, so I'm going to go ahead and work that all the way off and then work the other side. And oh, my arm's kind of starting to bug me here. I might have to come back and finish this with you later. We've almost got that task logo off of there. Okay. Yeah, now we're kind of uneven, so coming in on the other side. Bringing that down and just eyeballing it. It's actually looking pretty even now. It is warm today, even with the fan on. Very warm. You can really feel that lacquer on there. I've got a little bit still here on the little corner. So you can really kind of do this by hand. Unless you're reshaping or getting rid of tooling marks, then I guess you can just go till you get the lacquer off. And then I really wanted to kind of get this edge here rounded out a little bit better. So I'm going to, should have cleared up my workspace here a little bit before I started this. not sure what grit this is. It's not marked. This is my rougher grit, heavier grit sponge, but I don't remember what it is exactly. It's not too high. It's giving me a pretty smooth finish. There we go. Got that kind of rounded out. Feels good. Still got some tooling marks back here. Just try and even that out a little bit more. Now let's try and bring this curve out a little bit, or rather put it back in a little bit. I want this front to be just a little bit flatter. That's just a personal preference, cosmetic. It's hard to keep my glasses up out here when I'm all hot. Okay, that feels really good. I'll tell you what, I feel like splitting some kindling right now, but we're not there yet. We got some final touching to do, especially getting that wedge. Don't use it without wedge. Here it would actually be kind of nice to have a thinner sponge, or cut one of these in half or something. Okay. So now I'm moving to my really fine grit. Go over it just a tad here, really smooth it out. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That is the stuff right there. Okay. So I guess at this point I need to get my linseed oil on order, get that here, and then we can finish this up. I may come back before that and grind down these this mushrooming just a tad. We'll see. I don't have a file to do that with. I guess let me know in the comments. Do you think I should attempt it with the belt sander? I can be pretty gentle with it, but let me know what you think. Should I attempt it to smooth it out that way, or should I really hold off until I have a file to do it with. Let me know what you think. And I think that takes care of it for now. So this is again the Boy Scouts of America Genuine Plum Scout Axe. We're rehandling it since the old handle was not recoverable. And we've restored the head, at least to the point of getting all the rust off. We kept the aged patina look on it, and we're going to coat this handle and then sharpen it up, and this will be a working tool again. So pretty excited about it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut here. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know if you know a lot about this. Give me your tips and pointers. I'm open to feedback there. And some kind of bug flying in here. That's great. Yeah, let me know what you think. And then I'll come back to this. I imagine it'll probably be next week before I'm back to this. I got something else I need to get done this week for the channel, and do a live stream with the artwork again for Gorillas and Guns. I really need to get that finished. So I'm going to try and make that the next priority here. I do have, last week I was, no videos, but I was working on a couple of projects. I'm working now with a group called the National Mill Dog Rescue, and they needed some work done for some flyers that they're putting together. So I've been working on creating that, as well as sort of an online flyer for my good friend Kevin Dixie. And he's doing a big presentation down in South Carolina, in Charlotte. Charleston, South Carolina, called Aiming for the Truth. And it's a really cool project, program that he does, where he brings together people in the community to help families, broken families, help mend those families, people suffering with depression, mental illness, all kinds, kind of help them get support, get help, financial troubles, help them get on track with their finances, and teach them about freedom, liberty, and how to protect it. Once they've got their life back in order, or feel like they've got it back in order, then you start to value it more, and so you're going to want to protect it more. And that's why, some people think it's a little weird, but I wear a gun around the house, and I'm in a neighborhood here where it's mostly a nice, really nice neighborhood, but we've got some gang activity nearby that sometimes comes into the neighborhood, and you just never know. You should always be prepared for those moments that you really can't expect, where someone might come and try to take away everything that you've got, whether it's your livelihood or your life. So that's kind of what Aiming for the Truth is about. It's about getting your life together, getting on track, living with a purpose, and healing and repairing families, and then helping them find ways to continue that healthy living as well as protect it. So a really great program. If you're in South Carolina or roundabouts that area, definitely check it out. So you can learn more about that on Kevin's Facebook page. It's KD for Kevin Dixie of NOC, for No Other Choice. That's his firearms training program, so No Other Choice Firearms Training. It's also probably on that page as well on Facebook, so definitely check that out. So I've been working with him. I've got a flyer put together for him, so you'll probably see it up there. And then I'm working on this other thing with the dog rescue, and I haven't been streaming any of that because it's I think it's all internal use. I don't know if it's public information, and it's still also pretty early stages. We're still doing a lot of editing on the copy and all that stuff. So it's been a cool project. It's been fun to work on that. A little bit different for me from what I'm used to doing, and it's been a lot of fun to work with the the guys over there, and it's a great organization. So you can check them out. National Mill Dog Rescue. Just Google it, you'll find it. Great folks, and yeah. So I've been keeping busy. I apologize I haven't had a lot of videos up, but this week we'll have some things going on. So I'm still working a little bit on that National Mill flyer here and there. So I've got a day where I'll need to be working on that probably tomorrow. While I'm kind of recovering from being out here today, I'll be trying to get some work done on some final editing for that, and layout, that kind of thing. Taking it easy, and then that'll actually be today, because you're probably seeing this on Tuesday. I'm probably going to upload this tomorrow, which will be Tuesday for you. So we'll get that uploaded, and then Tuesday I'll be working on that. Wednesday, hopefully I'll have a live stream going for you. If not Wednesday, it'll be Thursday, and I'm going to hold myself to it. We really need to make that happen. I got to get that done. So hopefully Wednesday, but if I'm all out of whack in my back or something, then Thursday at least. But we'll get something done. I got to redraw the gun on the Gorillas and Guns logo, get a little better handgun there, and then do a little bit of color work again, finish that out. And then it's just going to be a matter of vectorizing that in Illustrator for him so that he can use it on logos for t-shirts and whatever he might want to do with it, as well as I'll put together a couple of social media backgrounds for him for his YouTube channel and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a fun project, and I'm excited to get back to it and kind of wind it down, get it finished. I know Silverback's going to be happy to have that done and ready to go. And I apologize, Silverback, I've been taking so long with it. I really hope to have this done a lot sooner for you, so I'm sorry about that. I know that you don't mind. You're okay with it, and you want to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, but I do feel pretty bad about that. So I apologize again. My life comes down to balancing everything. Balancing how much I stand, move around, do anything fun, do anything work, do anything whatever. I'm always trying to find that balance, and lately it's been kind of fun but kind of stressful, just dealing with all the different projects I've had on the scales here, trying to get balanced out, but we're getting things done and getting there, so that's great. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I do have a new camera coming. My wife's going to be, she kind of got like an award sort of thing at work, and they give her points that she can spend on stuff, and she decided she wanted to spend it on giving me a camera. So I've got a new camera coming. We'll try that out. Hopefully it'll work out really well, because this one on the phone has some issues. It may have already cut out on me. I hope not. But yeah, so that'll be cool. Maybe you'll see the next shot video on that camera. I'm not sure how long it'll take. But yeah, that's it. So again, thanks for watching. Follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/5012design. 12 is numerals, 50 spelled out. Facebook.com, 5012design. And you can get updates there. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.